Flooding in Japan is a big issue that threatens to destroy their large metropolitan cities, including Tokyo, the capital with approximately 36 million inhabitants. In the summer of 2018, Japan experienced torrential rainfall that took the lives of approximately 200 Japanese citizens. In this video, we will explore the rise in Japan's sea level, which is contributing to the problem, and the nature of the floods. We will also look into how the citizens of Tokyo stay prepared for these natural disasters and the steps the Japanese government is taking to combat the issue. According to the article, Relative Sea Levels from Tide Gauge Records, the normal amount of sea level rise per year is between 0 and 5 millimeters. It increases somewhat dramatically to 14 millimeters per year around the southern United States, but even more dramatically around the western American plates and the Caribbean Sea, where the continental plates and oceanic plates converge. However, the most dramatic rise in sea level is attributed to areas in Japan and in the Philippines. The article concludes that the sea level rise is increasing 2 or 3 times the rate of studies made in the 1970s. This could be potentially dangerous for the people of Japan. The study Probability Assessment of Flood and Sediment Disasters in Japan using the Total Runoff Integrating Pathway Models explains flood characteristics, frequency, and duration. It talks about the flood disaster occurrence probability, which represents how much damage is caused by a single flood. The severity of a flood is defined by how much water it contains and how long the flood lasts. According to flood statistics, the duration of flood disasters has increased from 1 week to 2 to 3 weeks from 1993 to 2004. But how prepared are the people of Japan for dealing with disastrous floods? In the year 2000, in Nagoya City, heavy rain fell, causing the Shinkawa River to flood. Studies show that while flood awareness was high, the citizens' preparedness was not. We assume that those with more experience dealing with floods would be more prepared to deal with them in the future. The study from the article Factors Determining Residents' Preparedness for Floods in Modern Megapolis, the case of the Tokai flood disaster in Japan, say that home ownership probably dictates a person's preparedness for natural disasters. The ways in which citizens prepare for floods include disaster insurance and looking at hazard maps of the area drawn from previous flood experience. There is not much more the average citizen can do to combat nature. Let's talk about what the Japanese government is doing to stop flood damage. In 1992, they began construction on a project known as the Metropolitan Area Outer Underground Discharge System. Basically, this is a giant underground drain. The channel, which was finally completed in 2005, is meant to take in all the rain and flood water the ground can't absorb and drain it into other locations. The drainage system is 50 meters underground and has 5 water containment silos. According to an article for Acclimatize, the silos are big enough to fit the entire Statue of Liberty inside. That's a lot of water. However, there are 4 pumps working to dispose of it at a rate of 200 cubic meters per second. Unfortunately, the Japanese government is worried that the system will no longer be enough. Japan is already one of the wettest countries in the world, and now, due to climate change, they are experiencing more precipitation than ever. Due to this and the rising sea level, which as we know is even more extreme due to the subsidence of Japan's continental plate, the system may one day fail to protect Japan from devastating floods. So, what else can the Japanese government do? Due to the high costs and recent challenges of the Metropolitan Area Outer Discharge Channel, they are not sure attempting a similar project is the way to go. There is no way to be sure that any one attempt will solve Japan's flood problem. As climate change and rainfall continue to be a factor, Japan's future is uncertain. If another flood similar to the flood experienced in 2018 were to occur before Japan had made any more plans, what will be the fate of the 36 million people who live in Tokyo?